What would you sacrifice to know if someone truly loves you? Not your money. Not your status. Not what you can do for them. Just you. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that will make you question everything you thought you knew about love, trust, and the masks we all wear. This is a story about a man who had everything the world says matters, and absolutely nothing that actually does. A man so desperate for genuine connection that he committed the ultimate deception. And a woman whose heart he broke, while teaching her the most profound truth about what real love actually costs. Before we dive in, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button right now, because if you've ever wondered whether people see the real you, or just what you represent, this story is about to get under your skin. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're exploring the messy, complicated, beautiful truth about human connection, one story at a time. Now, let me take you inside the mind of a billionaire standing in his penthouse, about to make the most reckless decision of his life. Marcus Ashford III stood in his penthouse, staring at his phone with a hollow ache spreading through his chest. Another dating app match. Another woman whose eyes would light up at his title, CEO, Forbes 30 under 30, net worth 50 million. Have you ever wondered if people love you, or just what you represent? Have you ever looked in the mirror and realized you don't even know who you are beneath the designer suits and corporate titles? That's where Marcus was, trapped in a golden cage, surrounded by people yet feeling completely alone. Tonight, at a charity gala, a woman had whispered, "I've always wanted to know what it's like to be with someone truly powerful. Not someone kind. Not someone real. Someone powerful." That's when the idea crystallized. What if he disappeared? What if Marcus Ashford III ceased to exist, and he became someone ordinary? Would anyone love that person? But here's the real question. What happens when you run a test on love itself? When the mask you wear becomes more honest than the face underneath? If you've ever questioned whether people truly see you beneath the surface, hit that like button right now. Because this story is about to show you where a billionaire's desperate experiment leads. Marcus made his decision. Within a week, he'd arranged everything. His COO would run the company. He'd become Marc Davidson, a mechanic in a small town, living on $2,000 a month. And he'd discover if genuine love existed for someone with nothing to offer but themselves. The apartment smelled like old carpet. 400 square feet. 800 a month rent. Marcus, now Marc, set down his duffel bag and smiled. This was freedom. Joe's Auto Repair hired him at $7.50 an hour. The first day, Marc learned what real work felt like. His hands cramped. His back screamed. But when Mrs. Rodriguez's gratitude for a free belt repair came with no agenda, just honest appreciation, he felt something he hadn't experienced in years, genuine satisfaction. Then, on a humid Tuesday, Isabella Martinez stormed into the garage. Dark hair in a messy ponytail. Scrubs with cartoon puppies. Eyes sparking with exhausted frustration. I know, she said, hands up in surrender. I should have brought it in weeks ago. But between my schedule and my budget, I've been playing automotive roulette. Her Honda Civic sat steaming in the lot, held together by prayer. Marc assessed the damage, $1,200 to fix properly. He looked at her worn shoes, cracked phone screen, the calculation in her eyes. I can get you running safely for $300, he offered. After hours, save you the labor costs. Her eyes widened. Why would you do that? Because you need your car, and I'm guessing you can't exactly Uber everywhere on a nurse's salary. When their hands met in introduction, something electric passed between them. Recognition. I finish at 9, Marc said. If you want to grab coffee while I work, there's a pot in the office. Fair warning, it tastes like motor oil. Isabella's smile transformed her face. I'm a nurse. Hospital coffee is a crime against humanity. She showed up at 9:15 with real coffee and warm empanadas. Figured you might need fuel. Marc couldn't remember the last time someone had thought of him so simply, so kindly. 6 weeks dissolved like sugar in rain. It started with enchilada casserole in Isabella's tiny apartment, her siblings competing to embarrass her. Then coffee breaks that stretched into hour-long conversations. Texts at 2 a.m. The way she started appearing at closing time, both pretending it was coincidence. Marcus had dated dozens of women. This was different. This was terrifying freefall. One Saturday, Isabella dragged him to volunteer at a free clinic. For 6 hours, he watched her treat patients who couldn't afford regular health care. Immigrants, uninsured families, elderly folks choosing between medicine and food. She treated each person like they truly mattered. My parents died because they waited too long to go to the hospital, she told him later, voice breaking. Couldn't afford the ER. So no, I don't rest. Because maybe if there are enough free clinics, fewer families lose everything to preventable tragedies. Marc pulled her close, and they stood among medical supplies, holding each other like anchors. That's when he knew, he'd already fallen completely. The evening everything changed came disguised as ordinary Thursday. Summer rain trapped them between the garage and his truck. They stumbled into her building's alcove, soaked and breathless. Marc. Isabella stepped closer. Yeah? I'm going to kiss you now. If that's not okay, you should probably say something. He didn't say anything. Her lips met his, soft, sure, tasting like rain and promise. The kiss deepened, becoming hungry and inevitable. They barely made it to her apartment before they were exploring each other with increasing urgency, leaving a trail of wet clothes marking the path to her bedroom. Later, tangled in her sheets, Isabella whispered, "My ex left because I chose my family over the life he wanted. He told me I'd end up alone." She looked at Marc seriously. "Promise me you'll never lie to me." "My ex pretended to be someone he wasn't. I can't survive that again. Promise me complete honesty, no matter what." The words stuck in his throat like broken glass. "I promise." She smiled, believing him, and he hated himself for the lie. Comment below, what's the most thoughtful gift someone's ever given you? Sometimes the smallest gestures mean everything. Marcus started leaving evidence of his guilt. Isabella's car got new tires overnight. The twins received a mysterious scholarship for $5,000. Each secret gift dug the hole deeper. Isabella started noticing inconsistencies. His expensive watch he claimed was fake. His knowledge of fine wines. The way he sometimes spoke in business terminology before catching himself. "You're kind of a mystery," she said one evening. "Sometimes I feel like there's this whole other person underneath." This was his chance. Tell her. His phone rang, his assistant with a crisis. The board threatening a vote of no confidence. He needed to return to the city immediately. "Work thing," he lied to Isabella, heading to the bathroom. When he emerged, "Joe needs me to run an errand tomorrow. Out of town." Another lie piling onto the others. That night, she whispered in the dark, "You'd tell me if something was wrong, right?" "Of course." "Lie. Because I'm falling in love with you. And that terrifies me, because I never thought I'd trust someone enough to fall. But I do. I trust you." His arms tightened around her, knowing he was betraying that trust. Days later, Isabella's grandmother collapsed. Heart surgery needed. $50,000 the family didn't have. Marc watched Isabella break under the pressure of impossible debt. He couldn't take it anymore. He texted his assistant, "Transfer 50,000. Make it look like a hospital charity program." By morning, Isabella received the news, full coverage approved. She called him sobbing with relief. "It's a miracle." But miracles leave trails. Isabella researched the charity fund. Found the foundation. Found the name buried in old filings, Marcus Ashford III. She searched. Found Forbes articles. Photographs of her Marc in expensive suits, shaking hands with senators and tech moguls. Marcus Ashford III, billionaire CEO. When Marc arrived at her apartment that evening, Isabella was waiting. Her laptop showed a gala photo of Marcus surrounded by wealth and power. "Who are you?" Her voice was terrifyingly calm. Marc felt his world shatter. "Isabella, I can explain." "Who are you?" "My name is Marcus Ashford. I'm a billionaire," she finished. "CEO. Forbes 30 under 30. Net worth 50 million. You've been lying since the day we met." "Not about everything." "Not about what?" Her voice rose. "How am I supposed to believe anything was real when your entire identity was fake? Was I your poverty tourism? Your social experiment?" "No. God, no. The tires. The scholarship. Abuela's surgery. That was all you. You've been manipulating my life like I'm some charity case." Marcus's words poured out desperate and raw. "I was lonely. Surrounded by people who only saw my money. I wanted to know if anyone could love me without the empire. Then I met you, and I fell in love completely. I should have told you. You had a choice every single day to tell me the truth. Every day you chose the lie." Her eyes shone with tears. "I told you exactly what would destroy me. And you did it anyway." She walked to her door and opened it. On the table sat everything he'd given her, returned. "How can I believe you loved me? How can I believe Marc was ever real?" "Marc is more real than Marcus ever was. You made me better. I want you to leave. Every memory is poisoned now. Every moment was built on deception. Please. Just go. Isabella. Go. The word was a sob and a scream. He went. Behind him, her door closed. Locked. And through the wood, the sound of her completely breaking down. Have you ever had to choose between a comfortable lie and a painful truth? Drop your thoughts below, because what happens next will surprise you. 3 months passed like purgatory. Marcus returned to his penthouse, but it felt like a tomb. He threw himself into work but heard only white noise in meetings. He dated women from his old circles, every conversation felt hollow. So Marcus made real changes. He stepped back from CEO, transitioning to chairman. He established the Martinez Foundation for Accessible Healthcare, $50 million for free clinics. He called Isabella before the announcement, left a voicemail, "This isn't about winning you back. This is about doing what you taught me matters." She never called back. But 3 weeks later, a letter arrived. "Marcus, I saw the foundation announcement. It's good work. But you can't donate your way to absolution. I've spent 3 months angry, at you for lying, at myself for not seeing it. But I've also been thinking about who you were with me versus who you are now." My abuela asked. "He lied about his wallet, not his heart. Can you tell the difference?" "I'm still figuring that out. The clinic is expanding because of your foundation. That matters. Whatever your reasons, that matters." Isabella. Marcus read it 40 times. It wasn't forgiveness. But it wasn't complete condemnation either. He kept building what she'd inspired. Started volunteering at the original clinic, not to see her, but to work. 3 months later, their eyes met across the crowded waiting room. She didn't smile. But she didn't look away either. Progress. 6 months after the explosion, the clinic hosted a fundraising gala. Marcus almost didn't go, but he owed it to himself to show up. He gave a speech about healthcare access that amplified Isabella's vision. When it ended and he prepared to leave, he felt a hand on his arm. "Nice speech." Isabella stood there, nervous and determined. "Thank you for everything. I didn't do it for gratitude. I did it because you were right about what matters." Silence held years of conversation between them. "I'm still angry," she said finally. "At the lying. At the manipulation. But I've been thinking about masks and truth and really knowing someone. I don't know if I can trust you again. But I think I'd like to try." Slowly. With complete honesty this time. Hope flared in his chest. Completely honest. Painfully so. No more masks. Just truth. "Can you do that?" He looked at this woman who'd changed everything, offering him something he didn't deserve, a second chance. Yes. Complete truth. Starting now. They rebuilt slowly, carefully. Coffee dates about real things. Therapy. No grand gestures, just 2 people showing up, choosing honesty even when it hurt. 6 months later, Isabella appeared at his modest office with coffee. "I forgive you," she said simply. "Not because what you did was okay. But because I've watched you become someone worthy of forgiveness. And because I still love you, Marc the mechanic who saw me, and Marcus the man learning to see himself." Relief crashed through him. "Isabella. We start over. For real. Date properly. Meet each other's worlds honestly. Build something new from the rubble." "Yes," he said immediately. She showed him architectural plans. "The foundation is funding a new clinic. I want to run it. But I need to know you can handle me being your equal, a partner, not a project." He knelt before her. "You've never been less than my equal. You taught me what wealth really means. Running that clinic proves your vision matters more than my money ever could." She cupped his face. "Who are you, really?" Someone who got lost in success and found himself in a garage. Someone learning that being seen matters more than being impressive. "I'm still figuring it out. But with you, I want to keep figuring it out." "Good answer," she whispered, and kissed him. The clinic opened on a sunny morning. Isabella delivered a speech that brought the crowd to tears. Marcus watched from the audience, feeling more pride than he'd ever felt closing any deal. They married the following spring at the clinic they'd built together. Marcus finally understood what he'd been searching for during those months as Marc. He hadn't been testing love. He'd been searching for truth, that real connection transcends wealth, that being seen matters more than being envied, that the bravest thing is risking your whole self for the chance of being wholly loved. Isabella taught him that lesson. And in teaching him, she gave him the greatest gift, not just her love, but the ability to finally completely love himself. If this story touched you, subscribe for more narratives about love, truth, and what really matters.